Welcome to Enmity Podcasting. Tonight we have your host, the glad man with a mad plan, Raging Rondo. With him tonight is your panel, consisting of the man with the big head but an even bigger wallet, Big Rekka, and the new age hippie with more than enough love to spare. It's Talent. You know him. You love him. It's Codger, and he's got a story for you. And last but not least, it's Ignitia, and, well, he's infantry, and that's all you need to know about him. Alright, and also joining us tonight will be Maisa, our marauder in the guild. This is episode 4 of Enmity Podcasting, and tonight we're going to be going over our week in SWOTOR, where we're going to ask our panel how their week in SWOTOR was. And also, our man for change, he's going to be going over the state of the game. That's Ignitia. And we're going to have the new class changes 2.5. Ooh, scary change. And tonight we're brought to you by Ultra Sabers. We'll be right with you after this little break.
Stop! Wait for me.
Ultra Sabers. Anything else is just a toy.
All right. And this week, how was it? First of all, Big, how was your week in SWOTOR?
Yeah, finished up with our progression in Dread Fortress. We got again to the last boss, but still had trouble downing him this week. Got into some solo queuing in the ranked war zones, but that's about it for this week in Star Wars. Not too exciting.
Cool, cool. I dread to do it. I really do. But how about you, Codger? How was your week in SWOTOR?
You dread to do it. You sir. Are you serious? I'll tell you. You know how I am. I PvP a lot, and a lot of people consider me the guild PvPer, but little do you know, I got an army with me. Anyway, I went back Vengeance just to see what it was like, and I'm popping 20k ravages on
He doesn't
people.
even know I'm playing this
It's
music
been
right
amazing,
now.
but I'm still kind of not happy with my Juggernaut. A while back, I ran a Merc. I still have her too, and just amazing DPS
Sweet
output.
dreams.
Different type of utility setup, but I gotta tell you, I love and
20
hate my
seconds,
jug
Codger.
so much. Yeah, no, I know. There's so much going on in the jug realm. You know, you run in there and tank with DPS gear, for example, and you're like one of the hardest mofos to kill, but you know you're actually DPSing people down, and turn around and smash back, and you can just just destroy people. I'm popping 9-10k smashes on people, like geared, conquer and up, geared people, and going back
Talent
Ravage, it's
sleeping.
kind of cool because I noticed that there's a huge difference in survivability. Like I don't have that huge bursty hit, but I'm able to just whittle everybody down, including healers. I've been taking down operatives left and right, which I thought was impossible for the longest time. But
Ignitia, you can finish
it's been
up that
alright. It's just been
programming
a
you've been doing
learning. It's been a learning experience running with juggernauts, and it kind of makes me look forward to the new game change, the new update, you know, class change. Except that they just went and dicked us again and gave us nothing. Oh, here you can have a ravage where your opponent is stunned while you ravage them. Yeah, about time, 2 years too late, but whatever. It's a whole different story. I don't know. It's like I said, I love it. I hate it. It's frustrating, but
It's
I mean,
Maisa's
there's
bedtime, so we're
more
gonna have
it
to
than
move
that.
on. And like I said, you
Really?
took up everybody
was-
else's time, but
I wasn't done. I
oh,
wasn't done.
okay.
I mean, why did you ask me?
That's true. Next week we'll save you for the last. All right. Maisa's got his bedtime soon, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to our state of the game this week. And this week, brought to you by our candidate for change, Ignitia, will be going over the state of the game in Star Wars: The Old Republic at the moment.
Enmity Podcasting, viewers, my fellow SWTOR community gamers. For the past year, we have experienced many new features to Star Wars The Old Republic. New planets, content, abilities, and PvP. And I must say that the state of our game is strong. Our community is stronger than ever, providing feedback to developers so we can get the content and features we want. BioWare has been good to us, and we truly can recognize them as a friend to our community. Yet, there
Good
is
job.
much that needs to be done. We, as the dedicated base of Star Wars fans, should be willing to work with our class leaders and the developers to improve the state of our game for the year 2014. We, as the community, shall not troll the mistakes, yet be helpful to our good neighbor BioWare.
I'm so pumped
But we
right now.
need to make demands of this year that I believe must be done this year. We, the community of Star Wars gamers, must have guild capital ships, RP chat bubbles, guild insignias, more rewards for PvP, sandbox style space combat and exploration. We demand BioWare to give us class balance. Yet, it must not be completely homogenized to where it's a cookie cutter and it's boring and it's stupid. We want more. It's what we expect out of this game and from the company of BioWare. And if you truly believe to be a major supporter of the
I think
Star
his
Wars
teleprompter
community,
broke.
then you must be able to. My teleprompter is broken. Hold on. All right, can we get somebody to fix my teleprompter?
Did you need me to pipe in?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. My fellow Star Wars community gamers, let's do the right thing for the year 2014.
All right.
Here,
Here, here. Oh, that's good. It's because I've never seen a presidential man for change take that big sip of what was that? Carl's Jr. right after.
That's some good branding
Oh,
right there, I think.
You know he's not married to
yeah, they
Michelle
paid.
Obama because they wouldn't let him drink that soda.
They paid for his campaign.
Oh, did they? Well, somebody needs to. I mean, look at the guy. He's haggard. Somebody buy him a suit.
Can you buy me a camera while you're at it?
Right? I mean, but
Odd man out here.
right. But it's okay because look at that look on your face. It's classic. I mean, your look on your face is like, did that guy just do a presidential State of the Union bit? I mean, just look at his face. It's like no,
That
just
that
stop.
actually is exactly what I'm looking at Ignition like right now. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome.
But I mean, like I agree with them. Let's make it good for the RPers who have one of the highest. Um, they always have people on their realms or their on their universes or whatever they call them in here. They always have somebody on, so let's give them some chat bubbles. I mean, what's going on in here? I think Big, didn't you mention something about them having some sort of like I can't remember like some sort of
Well,
help thing on it, like how
they're
to turn it
always
on.
Yeah, I think very down in the tutorials, there's an actual thing talking about enabling chat bubbles. So it's something they've planned on for a long time, and it is true. The RP server it's pretty much always at normal, if not full or heavy. I mean, it's all hours of the night when I'm logging in. There's very few times, maybe to 2 or 3 in the morning. But besides that, it seems like it's always popping over there. Maybe
Yeah,
we
I
can just
mean,
start doing some RP as we're raiding.
maybe. I think we should do that because I'm tired of dying. So maybe like I do yell. sometimes anyways. So maybe I could just RP it, and like I need some emotes where I could like shoot Ignition in the back of the head, sometimes.
And then we can actually RP and pretend Sorks are good healers as well.
Oh,
I
you
am
just
not a
want me.
crook.
You
Wow.
just you just want me to RP as a Twi'lek stripper for you.
Hey, I'm okay with that because I'm gonna be honest. Your
Well, you
character's
already do
hot.
that for us.
He does. Have you ever? Has anybody ever walked up on Talons
Okay,
dancing in the middle of the fleet? I'm just gonna
don't.
throw it out there.
So
Well, he
the
logs in
only
and doesn't
way
move.
the only way I'm doing that is if they give me body tattoos. Come on, come on, give me body tattoos.
All right. Body tattoo. So you're saying
You
you will
forgot
strip
that in
for us
your.
in game if you add body tattoos?
Yeah, yeah. Ignition forgot that in his address, man. I mean, come on, you got face tattoos and then they cut off at the neck. So if you're wearing any kind of slave outfit, it looks bad. You can see the line where the body start.
Does it really? I haven't looked at
All
Yeah.
that.
he, all
Oh
he's
yeah, it's
asking for is
terrible.
some consistency.
Yeah, and Talon's it's it. She is a Twi'lek with full body black tattoos, so it'd be cool to have 'em.
Except for on her neck.
Oh no, they go up the side of her neck.
You just said. Wait. Am I
No,
misunderstanding
no, no.
something here?
I'm saying. No, I'm saying I'm my character now. They do not because they do not have that feature. But in because I base her off of Darth Talons, which is Darth Krat's apprentice. But
Oh, okay.
she has full body tattoos. Is what I'm saying. And
Nerd.
that'd be awesome. The red and black tattoos. Yes, yes, correct.
Let's talk about this stuff. I mean, I remember when I was playing Guild Wars, the original one, and I love the fact that I could transfer over to my little guild hangout area where there was something like we could hang out. You could set up your own vendors. Is this something that I don't know? We don't talk about it much in this guild because we know when it comes out, Big will front us the money for it because that guy's rich. I'm telling you, so much money, so much money. But anyways, we know we're gonna get it anyways.
Yep.
He's got too much time. Anyways, so is this something
If
that
they
we're
do that,
really into? I know I want it because I'm just gonna sit there naked. You guys are gonna catch me on the couch naked all the time.
the only problem I have with it is possibly more of a separation of the, the the fleets and the actual chat channels. Trying to pug a 16-man story mode in the middle of the week. I'm having to go from the fleet to each of the daily areas. If there's just an easier way to link that up. Maybe if they made it part of the fleet chat, that it wouldn't be much of an issue. But if it had its own chat, again, it's just going to isolate the community. So I'd like them to
I couldn't see them doing
see
their
them
own
using it.
chat with it. I could see them like doing a general thing where it links them all together. They would have to, right?
Here's a
I'm
question that needs to be brought up. Why do we have fleets in general when we can't actually have world combat? I would actually like to see cities being overran by Jedi or Sith and having a full-on city fight going on.
Oh,
That'd
I
be kind of
agree.
nice.
I can't wait for the first time where I see uh, a trailer
a
of
seat.
meteors hitting the frickin' the fleet and them fall into the ground or something, and we ought to rebuild. I can't wait.
Yeah, which it seems like. I mean, from the new notes that they put for the digital expansion. I know some people have an issue with calling it that, but it seems like that it's a much bigger project than they're obviously launching with just a PvP section of it, but who knows what they're gonna build on that. It should be pretty cool.
But I mean, let's talk about it. State of the game. I don't think we're doing too bad. I think, as we said from the start, it's really one of those games that did start off with issues, yeah. But what do you guys enjoy about Endgame at the moment? Because I think a lot of the things that people are talking about are like, oh, there is no Endgame, and it's boring. Well, what do you guys here enjoy about the Endgame at the moment? Not the stuff that's coming up. Like, what do you enjoy right now about the Endgame?
I've been having real fun with the ranked. You know, the group ranked is a bit hard. You know, you can get your team rolled by some of the other, top of the line teams, but solo ranked has actually been quite balanced. It seems like as long as people know to queue with a decent amount of gear and don't try and queue for ranked with PVE gear, then the matches have been fun.
I know. I'm just afraid.
Personally,
Oh, sorry.
personally, I'd like to say like the fact that we have 10 bosses for once when it comes to an end game raid. That's kind of nice. I actually see Dread Palace and Dread Fortress being one and the same, not just two separate raids. I mean, it's really, really nice to actually have a lot of content to burn through.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that too. Like, it's nice about having those extra bosses, but then it gets annoying too that they're releasing stuff that it seems like are bugged. And I love 10 bosses. I love 10 working bosses too. You know?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
I agree.
expected when something's
Yeah, it's
first
always.
launched, wash everything out in the PTR.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, why was did anybody play it? Maisa, you played that. Did you go against that boss? Was it that way in the PTR?
No, I cleared both instances on hard mode on the PTR, and some of them were buggy. I know the second boss was deemed impossible, but that was killed. But other than that, no, all the bosses went down pretty pretty easy. Less, not that many, except for the last boss of Palace. The Palace boss, even on story mode, really isn't a joke on the PTR and on live.
You know what I find that I really enjoy about the end game, and I know this is kind of like sappy or something like that, but I've really enjoyed lately going to Oricon and doing my dailies because of how gorgeous that planet is. I like I'm not a dailies person, but I enjoy doing my dailies because of how like I love the flames. I think it's just a gorgeous planet, and then you read up on the lore about it, and it's just cool to stand there. I guess that's like a nerd
Yeah,
in me.
no, it's been a good one, and it's actually I haven't mind doing the dailies. I've been doing it on two of my tunes so far just to get the rep up, and like you're saying, it's not a bad. They're enjoyable, especially once you actually do them the first time. They lower the amount of actual items you need to collect or tasks you need to do, which makes them go along a lot quicker. The heroic two I normally solo, but first time I did it with the someone else, and man, it just those are a lot easier when you bring someone else with you. Even though I generally have HK over geared, there, take a few minutes to burn them down since I'm on my healer generally.
I know Codger likes to PvP to get through some of the monotonous time when he logs on. Him and his battle buddy Xansis goes out and they're doing lots of PvP. Have you seen
Hmm.
anything within the PvP that you're starting to either find needs work or that you're actually really enjoying within the arenas, Codger?
Um, Gosh, that's a loaded question, and to avoid Codger story time, let me hit the highlights here. So, the, the arenas are enjoyable. They're a lot of fun. But I think what they desperately need to do with PvP is cross server. This nonsense of maintaining within the same servers creates a massive imbalance based on character population and the side that people choose, and it's causing issues server wide and on all servers. Once they do cross server and set that bad boy up, I think we're going to be fine. So, but ranked though, on the plus side, a lot of fun, really quick, amazing fights. Especially when you're running a pug, it's a game of roulette. You can get really lucky, you can get like extremely lucky, or just hit a really bad streak for a while. And that's got a lot to do with the fact that you're no longer relying on 7 people. You're now relying on 3 people and hope to the high heavens that these guys know what the hell they're doing.
Well, okay, so let's talk about
Outside
this,
of
right?
that,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Keep going.
no, 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 go ahead. Yeah.
No, no, no. What I was gonna say is, so now that we've been in there, do you PvP with anybody from the guild? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've gone a few rounds with Big and Zan and Grimmick, and the biggest key thing with arenas is communication. It's fun, but in order to be extremely successful, because you'll end up going up against pre-made teams that have decided we are going to have two Marauders, we're not going to have range, or vice versa, or whatever. They very carefully calculate their team build, and open communication will allow you to take apart their team and destroy them round after round. Without that, you're screwed, and that's where arenas really separate the novice from the skilled PvPer. It goes beyond skill. It's now communication.
Nah. Okay, so that's all well and good. Missed my point. I want to know what's the dumbest thing you've seen Big do. Because I've seen
There's
him
a
be
lot
like,
in that
I've
department.
seen him be like, oh, I could roll in, but I'll just run in and I'll kill the raid. You know, I'm just saying, I've seen the PVE side. Let's get the PVE, the
Okay.
Well,
PvP side.
I
You
thought you
know.
didn't want Codger. I thought you didn't want
No,
Codger
no, this
story
is
side.
good. No, I'm into it
No,
this
this
time.
is easy. Oh, screw you, buddy. This time, I'll be
We're all gonna
honest.
die.
What's the dumbest thing Big's done in PvP?
Yep.
And specifically arenas. Not a damn thing.
Dang it. Big, do something
No
stupid.
joke.
We need good
No
stories,
joke.
man.
No, you want to see
Uh,
Big
I don't
really
play
at
around
his
in
best.
PvP.
Nope. Yeah, he outshines all operatives. It's crazy. He's crazy good and crazy on top of it in PvP.
Okay, Big. We've all seen Codger not get behind a rock. Since he won't dime you out, I want to know what's the dumbest thing you've seen Codger do in PvP?
Um, Again, he's
Oh my god.
you know,
I'll
PvP in our
give you a
ranked,
million. Come on, I'm paying. I'm here. I'm like those guys who sit in front. They try to catch celebrities, you know, doing their with their camera. Come on, I got a million on it. You're too
Yeah,
nice
he wants
tonight.
the crotch shot of you getting out of your Lambo.
Mm-hmm. Just like Britney Spears, you know.
No, he was leading the group well. I mean, he was the one trying to push us to get better communication going. Um, you know, maybe trying to do jug DPS. Maybe that's an issue there. No, just kidding.
Oh,
The-
see, look at that, look at that.
Wow.
He did it, Codger. See, you put a million in front of him, and you'll get something
Wow.
said. So now I go back to
Doing
Codger.
jug DPS. Wow.
I go back to Codger. What is the dumbest thing you've seen Big do?
All right. The dumbest thing I've seen Big do is let me roll jug DPS.
Oh, you're too nice, Codger. You're too
No,
nice.
I'm being honest. I'm being Rondo. You know what? We're gonna have to
back
wrap it.
Codger up on this one. I got to back Codger up on this one. Other than it's not PvP, Big, thanks for killing us all twice this week.
Oh yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, you've taken my spot as the jihadist of the
Yep.
guild now.
We should have that every week. Who was
Arguable.
the jihad
Arguable.
of the raid?
Devils has killed us almost equally as many times due to that grenade than Big had.
No,
Oh,
no.
man.
I'm not talking about the
Oh,
grenade.
here we
I'm
go.
not talking about the grenade. I'm talking about I'm gonna go face pull.
Oh, okay. Well, let's be honest.
Baseball.
When you see somebody go invis and run in, I mean, my first thing is like, oh my god, he's gonna pull. And yeah, I did it too. But to be honest, we made it all the way through that boss until the very end. So I didn't pull
The
a
one
big
question-
quite as good as Big pulls a big.
I have yet to be able to queue for solo rank. I am honestly curious, Codger and Big. Are the groups you get as imbalanced as if you were to go into a random war zone? Because I've had some war zones where I've
Yeah.
gotten with 3 healers and 4 tank, and it just takes
Yes.
forever.
Yes. Case in point. Right before we started this podcast, I was in with Zan. It was just me and him. We got a random arena, and we had 2 tanks and 2 DPS on our team. The other team had 4 DPS. So the cool thing is you can see who your opponent is. So you see how much health they have, etc. So we immediately strategized, and I typed it out. I'm like, you're gonna go after the Sage till he bubbles, and you go after the Commando. When the bubble goes away, kill the Sage. They did exactly what I said. We ignored the sniper, and we ignored the gunslinger, and we ignored the sentinel. Completely ignored them. The tanks took care of them. Me and the frickin' sorcerer destroyed it. Just destroyed them twice in a row. No questions asked. It's crapshoot. It's total crapshoot, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It is
I
not,
like
well,
that. I might actually have to go in there and try some.
Co- Codger touched on a big thing is communication in the beginning. You have, a good 30 seconds to a minute before the match starts. You have to, at least type something in, get a little communication with your group, have the DPS know who they're going to target and switch in between. And the matches where the DPS didn't communicate, the matches, we ended up losing where the DPS were communicating and had a plan. It seemed like we were winning. So if anything, try and type in and communicate to your team beforehand. Tanks, don't be afraid to swap guard between targets. That's something you definitely need to do. Wisely use your taunts. Um, I haven't got to see a Merc in ranked yet, but I've seen a Sage and Sword, and they did pretty well. I think that's the key is what Codger was saying as well. Is once they bubble, I don't see people switching back to them as quickly. We're about to burn them down. They bubble, and it's just like they forget about them.
Yeah. I mean, so we talked about is that state of the game, Ignitia? Mycin needs facial hair.
I think so.
It's true. It's true. I think it would help
Sorry.
if there was a little bit of rustle, going on when you moved the mouth.
Well, and they say ranked PvP makes you grow some chest and facial hair, so he
Oh,
just needs to stick in there and start queuing up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So.
I'm required. Schaefer work.
Oh yeah, 'cause you're a cook.
Sure. That's what he says.
So what have we gone over? I
Really
mean,
can't grow it.
we've gone over the PvP. We've gone over the capital ships. So let's talk about guild pride. I mean, for me, I like to see some sort of insignia or something. Does anybody else feel that way? I mean, we could just touch on it for a second. I like the idea of maybe something on my chest. I think we've gone over it in another podcast.
Yeah, that's a great idea because I mean you see people's name plates, but you just run by them and you don't, especially if it's a long guild name, you're just gonna glance. But if you had like a insignia or something that was recognizable, while you're running by, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Since I'll be funding our guild's insignia, all you guys will be running around with a big B on top of your heads.
A bee?
For
Oh,
bit,
as in B for big. I thought you meant like a honeybee. I'm like, okay, explain that one. I was like, what? All right. So basically, this week we got what 2.5 patch notes. That's gonna lead us into some class changes.
Yeah, some good ones. Good ones I see. Some I'm sure people are gonna have problems with, like always.
One of them is me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But no, not for everything, But I think there was some key stuff that was missed out. We have one as a mercenary. We have the best um, class lead that they could have gotten, Pizza the Hut, um, or whatever. I know he was Captain Chaos for a while. Some other names. Like we have the best. I've rated with him. The guy understands his class. I've gone over class stuff with him, and I feel like he asked some really good questions that were answered very, very well, and we didn't get any of those changes that they answered. I mean, does anybody go? Did anybody else go over the mercenary stuff? I mean, just to take care of heat alone, I think that's something that's really important, especially since they took our heat mitigation away with our 4-set bonus, which with the rail shot it helps a lot. Now we're sitting there and we have no we got it does 8% more damage, but what's 8% more on a rail shot? I mean, it's a huge hit already. you know, I just I don't see why we didn't get a little bit of changes. But that's just on my end. Maisa, I know, is really happy about, and we'll go more into mercenaries after we touch upon some of the stuff that Maisa got on his Marauder. And I know he got buffed, but he'll say he got nerfed because they all do. So, how do you feel about the Marauder changes there? Oh, mighty Marauder Maisa, who BioWare loves and coddles.
Well, we were broken for 1 second.
Lie.
I'd love.
Yeah, yeah. Broken because your damage was so amazing.
No.
Gorban.
Yeah. The one big thing I'm real happy about is that they're really the one large buff that they're throwing out right now is mainly to the tree that I use in PvE, which is Annihilation. The one large problem that you have as a melee DPS, especially a Annihilation Marauder, is keeping your stacks up when there's a ton of downtime on the boss, and this is what
And pulling the boss
the
to you
fix is.
because you do too much damage. Yeah, we know. Okay, keep going.
What they're basically doing is they're increasing the time that our buffs have that they're up. They're from 15 seconds to almost 30 seconds, which allows us, for example, on the last boss of Dread Fortress, when you're running around dodging those tentacles, I don't have to go in harm's way and try and hit those to keep my Annihilator stacks up anymore. I now can feel free to run around the corner, not stand in lightning like one of our Sorks can get out of. But you know,
Oh yeah,
I
that's a hellacious nerf, right? Right, Ignitia? Oh man, that nerf. Whew.
Oh yeah. Oh
that's
You
yeah.
that.
don't have to keep your stacks up
But
anymore.
what? Yeah, but
plus they can be
whatever they
lazier.
do, don't fix Carnage, man, whatsoever. I mean, it's not like it's the better spec overall. But in all honesty, let's not even allow our sword class lead to make the changes that they were saying about trying to make lightning and madness as viable as the other classes. But you know what? We're not complaining too bad because swords are still extremely badass and we can heal better than anybody else. I'm just putting that out.
It's true.
oh,
I'm
Well, see, they
quoting
could
BioWare on
probably,
this
I
one.
and see
It's
if
a
they lowered
quality
your
of life
damage,
improvement.
it would actually probably increase your DPS, Maisa, because you wouldn't die as a Marauder all the time.
well, look, no, no,
It's
no.
um,
Sith
well,
Inquisitor. You got a general one. You got an increase on the damage of your Thrash, Ignitia. You're good, right? I mean, why not?
But my thrash, the one ability I don't even use.
Oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
it's right
that's
there. It
so amazing.
increases on your Thrash. They obviously want you to use it. That's the problem. You're not thrashing. That's why your DPS
Your
isn't as good as mine. You're not thrashing,
Oh,
and it's
okay,
right
your
there.
okay. I'll
lightsaber
become a melee. I'll be a melee mage from now on. All right.
It's right
Don't
your
worry.
there. I mean,
lightsaber
So
I'm
is
looking
getting
at it.
lonely.
You're not thrashing
the
enough, right, Codger? I mean, I'm thinking if it's right there, if they're increasing his thrash, I mean, wouldn't that be something he should use?
I agree.
Yes.
My lightsaber is lonely. I haven't used it in years.
Have you used
you don't
it
even have a
lately? Maybe
lightsaber.
it increases
Hey,
it to 30 meters, and you hit them with it, Ignitia. You never know, because you don't use it. You don't even try, and that's the problem. You just dot
I
things
don't
up,
even
and you
keep
pay
that.
attention to everybody else.
The week that Talon's got his sword of the
I
what
can
is it?
back that up.
The I wanted him to run into Titan 6 and just go hit the boss because I wanted to see the animation for it. And he's like, no. No, I didn't have that on my bar.
I don't.
But
I don't.
going
I
back
don't
to
have.
Big's point where he said that it was going to increase my DPS, it's also possibly going to increase my survivability because the reason these are quality of life improvements for Annihilation slash Watchmen, Marauder slash Sentinels. Oftentimes, situations occur in combat that require players to temporarily withdraw for a bit. In these situations, we felt that Annihilation, Watchmen, Marauder slash Sentinels were being penalized too severely, which honestly doesn't matter because we're so broken. We do too much damage as it is. It really
Yes, you
shouldn't
do.
be
Thank
that
you for
applied.
admitting it. Thank you for admitting it.
I I have
Look,
done too much damage for a very long time.
look, I understand, youngin, that this is your first MMO, but there's something called class equality, and I don't feel like we have enough class equality here. Okay.
Look,
I feel
when
like
when you
mercenary
got
is
me to play
just like a
WoW for
cry.
the small, what class did I choose? What class did I choose?
You chose a Death Knight because you wanted to
I'm a
be perfect.
douchebag.
Yeah, yeah, you're a D-bag. He wanted to be amazing. He heard Ignitia talking about his heydays in the Death Knight, uh, and he heard about me because I'm just amazing. And yeah, Ignitia remembers as he shakes his head. No, he hates it to remember how good I
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about Rondo here. I'm talking about Maesa trying to impersonate me. I mean, I wasn't, number one Death Knight on a realm for no apparent reason. Besides, we all know that Death Knight tanks are so much better than freaking DPS.
Yawn. Moving on. Shut up. Okay. What
Yeah.
I'm saying
So,
is that
know your place,
Maisa.
little one.
I
I
still
just.
got two more things to go over.
Oh my God, I know, and I know what they are. So
No.
go over them because the fact of the matter is, I
No.
actually like these because I feel like there's a lot of bad marauders out there that are making it into good raids. The guild we just left, Maisa, but I'm not gonna to elaborate on that because I don't want guild drama. But I'm just gonna say there's a lot of bad marauders making it into raids for the very reasons I think you're gonna go over right now.
Well, yeah. The next big thing is that they're basically taking away um, the reason to bring a second Marauder in by, well, one, they're no longer, well, Bloodthirst and Predation are active, we can still build free, which their reasoning for that was because it was swaying Marauders not to actually use those abilities in order to keep their personal DPS higher than buffing the raid for 15 seconds, which personally I've done that before, mainly because you
We
guys
know.
are either way too far away. Yeah, I know. I make myself look. But the big thing with that is now, because the Bloodthirst now also affect one Marauder can buff the entire raid. But that one Marauder's Bloodthirst then puts a debuff on the rest of the raid where they cannot accept a Bloodthirst for the next 5 minutes. And that includes, if you do bring another Marauder, that Marauder's Bloodthirst. So unless you don't have a second Marauder, or if you do have a second Marauder, and now questions whether or not you could bring in another melee DPS or a range because
I
they're
didn't even
the
read
reason
that
for
part.
them.
I'm telling you, I read the part and I was like, oh, okay, so this will be big for 16 mans. So what you're saying is we can't even get a secondary blood. What do they call it?
Bloodthirst.
Bloodthirst. We can't even get a secondary
But
bloodthirst.
couldn't you? Well, that's at simultaneously, right? But first, or as soon as the first one's done, you could pop the second one, correct?
No, from what I'm reading right
No, it's
now,
a
he's
five
telling the truth.
minute
There's a
debuff.
5-minute debuff on it.
Yeah.
Cannot receive another bloodthirst for 5 minutes, and that is the cooldown. So no
So in
point in
other
having two
words,
marauders anymore.
So in
so
other
in other
words,
words, an assassin might be viable again. Oh wait, no,
One of
they
no,
still.
no, 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 no,
one of the
no, no, no,
most
no, no,
used
no, no, no.
one of the most used raid makeups for high progression guilds and regular guilds alone, which is the two Marauders and two Rain, is now going to possibly be replaced with allowing, for example, assassins or operatives to come in with their stealth reses and taunt, along with healing abilities.
And very
So
bad DPS. So let's not even talk about doing that because it's not something that we will even think
they're
about in our
buffing
guild.
assassins.
No, I'm looking
They're
at it right
buffing
now.
assassins.
They're giving them a no longer the dark charge no longer heals it. Where's the buff?
No, they're
I'm
doing a
not. I
damage
didn't read
increase.
it.
That's a tank, and it's just increasing their survivability by adding more mitigation
Oh, are you
compared to
talking
the
about
self-heal.
darkness?
Yeah, that's
Dark
The
dark
tank
charge.
assassins are gonna get more armor, and they're losing their self heal. So
Well, there's two changes. There's assassin for the tanking, and there's assassin for DPS, and
well, right.
yeah, so we don't want to mix the two. The
Oh, I
Sith
see it
assassin for
now.
tanking, yeah, they're they're making it so assassins can no longer heal themselves, but they're increasing their armor rating by 130%, up from 115%.
And they're increasing the
And they're
damage
also
dealt by Maul and Lacerate, and slightly increasing the damage done by Voltic Slash for Deception.
Considering
Facts.
that Maul still hits like a truck now in PvP. Can't imagine what's going to hit after what probably is going to be like a 15% damage buff.
So I mean, I would bring a
That's
good
a
assassin
lot.
in. I would like to see what that does. I mean, if that brings him up to a viable point. Still, though, if it doesn't, a good Marauder I would say, it would be above an assassin because of the amount of damage they put out. You screw the
They're
bloodthirst.
losing the they're losing the excuse of, oh, we can use the second bloodthirst. They're
Okay.
losing that. This class is overall better than yours because it does more damage, and that's the only reason why we're bringing this person. Not because,
Yep.
oh, I want a damage buff.
I think if anything, it opens up the door for a Juggernaut DPS, a good Juggernaut DPS.
I
Wouldn't
agree.
that be fancy?
I like Juggernaut
I'm
DPS.
only pushing. Mind you, I'm not min-max, and I'm only pushing 2400.
Oh,
The
we're gonna need to get you to work out there, buddy. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's pretty good, not min max. I mean, I'd like to see what you could put out with a good rotation behind you and some good gear.
Yeah. Once I get
Tisha,
my tank gear
stop yawning.
situated, you'll
Go
see
back
it.
to sleep. Go take a nap. Who's playing classical music in the background? Is that Codger?
Oh yeah, it is. Codger's a sweetheart, man. He's like a Romeo.
All right. Enough of the
Sorry,
I
flirting.
wouldn't
Can we
say.
get
I'd
to
say a
the
Roman.
can we get to the
It's
operative changes here?
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
got
I mean,
one more.
w-
I got
no,
one more.
Maisa, shush.
yeah.
You had your time.
You've
Now
had
go
your
play with
time.
your
It's
lightsaber in
gonna
the
kill
dark.
me.
Go play
It's-
with your
It's
go
going
play
to,
with your new Ultra Saber
is-
in the dark, Maisa.
It is going to kill me so much more.
Oh,
'cause
so
they're
what you're saying is you're gonna play
nerfing my oh shit
Maisa story
cooldown.
time. He's playing Maisa story
Sure.
time. Like, well, we bring in
Yep.
Codger story time, and now you think you get your own segment? I mean, shoot, you've been talking
Well-
for 20 minutes, buddy.
Just because my class is getting buffed or fixed or whatever you want to
Does
say. and
anybody
your class
notice
doesn't
how
get fixed
white
doesn't mean
Maisa
you have
is?
to- Oh well, it's the giant Word document I have in front of me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
All right.
And I work inside all day. I'm sorry.
All right. Keep going. You look like
Get
Get
Sith.
some sun there.
You look Sith, is what I'm trying to say.
That's where I belong. The last and final change that they that they're throwing is that they're somewhat nerfing our Undying Rage, which is our 99% damage reduction for 4 seconds. They're
I'd like
switching
them to nerf
the
how long you can talk.
they're switching the
The
health
mask is going on.
required.
The mask is going on.
Well,
I think it's got a
Mainly-
viable point.
Okay, I'll let him finish.
mainly they're taking away how it works now is that I lose 50% of my current health and I get 99% damage reduction for about 4 seconds. And if you spec into rage and you have the set bonus, it goes up to 6. What they're doing now is that when you hit the ability, you have 4 seconds of invul and then you lose 50% of your health. Which the way it works now in PvE and PvP is that your Marauder is now basically an invincible tank for 4 seconds, and the healer can easily heal them back with no problem, and they can continue on with it merry way. With this now, you have to think that where is this going to put me? Because I usually hit it when I'm below 25% health. So if I lose half of that 25%, I am now within one-shot range, which means that I'm probably either going to die a lot more, or I'm just not even going to touch that cooldown anymore.
But didn't they
'Cause if
help you by allowing your what was it, that stack not to drop though, right? So you can get out of stuff
You
better
don't.
now.
But still, there are situations as a Marauder, because you're in the same exact peril as the tank sometimes, where you are probably going to get healed after the tank, which that was
Yep.
my safety
If at all.
safe button Yeah. I'm probably going to die either. This is probably either going to kill a ton of Marauders or it's going to be.
So you're gonna do no DPS because dead DPS is 0 DPS,
Yes.
That's true.
and you're gonna
Now,
be dead the whole time.
all right, Big. How do you feel about your class changes? I know you're itching. He's been talking about it ever since he found out, boohooing and whatnot.
Well,
Oh, good. Then
I
we're
would say
okay.
it is probably is a needed buff to the agents and smugglers. Um, what they did was operatives had the coverability like snipers, so when they went into cover, they couldn't be jumped to or they couldn't be pushed. Um, which allowed for some defensive abilities. You could roll away from a jug that was trying to get to you, pop in cover, and it'd make it so you'd have to run to you, or you can even apply slow to him and then roll away, and it would make him, that much longer for him to take to you. So all defensive abilities are going to be taken out, so they now will be able to leap to you. And if you rolled to the cover points, you were able to utilize the cover advantage as well, which made you immune to I think it was the basic attacks. You had more of a chance. I think it was a 30-40% to dodge those as well. So the only real ability now is going to be so you can throw an explosive probe or snipe, or you can still take advantage in rolling to the roll points. Which essentially is a zero energy roll. But so their logic behind that was operatives are hard to kill, and when I've been on other classes in PvP, it is true. So I'm not disappointed with it. I could see it coming. It's just something I'll have to deal with, and make sure I'm able to line of sight the classes a bit better. Make sure I'm in that point. So I could see, and I don't think it was widely used. I just think some of the more skilled operatives and scoundrels were utilizing it. I didn't see it used by every single one. So it's just going to
And
make
what did I
those
say when I
those
heard
ones that are
about
even
this?
good.
When we were talking about it the other day.
Let's see that it was needed, and you want us
Yeah.
to be buffed or nerfed a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think
Oh,
what
you mean operatives are gonna actually have to be skilled players to be good?
I don't,
Well, that's what
to
I'm
go
saying.
with that, but I think what I meant by that is it doesn't go with their lore. It doesn't go with what a operative is. He's not a sniper. He doesn't need to be behind something stopping people from jumping to him. I think everybody can agree with that, right?
Codger, what do you
Yep.
think? You happy
Yeah,
now that you can?
I'm kind of sick and tired of not being able to kill a flippin' operative.
Yeah, why? Because he gets behind
Eh,
something that he shouldn't, like, and he can still heal and have, like, it just doesn't make any sense for you to be able to do that.
It's hard
Well,
enough that they can heal through, four of us wailing on him in a frickin' war zone. Don't get me wrong, that's overpowered enough. They need to nerf that, but I'm glad they at least took away their stupid cover, because that was some nonsense.
I mean,
They get the
if
best
they're
of
going to
both
give him that
worlds.
cover, why not give Ignitia a bad, you know what, shield also, so that you can't hit him. Oh, they did. Never mind.
Exactly.
Because I saw Ignitia going to
they,
talk, so I wanted to shut him up. Like, just sit down over there, Ignitia. Just sit down here. I'm going to point at you on the podcast. I'm trying to. Oh man, this is hard. How do you do that?
But
Okay.
I will bring this up
Other way.
though.
Oh, there we go.
They
Oh,
did.
oh man, I can't do it. Yeah, there, that one.
Yeah, there. Yeah, there. Yeah. Okay. I do want to bring this one up. It's in Codger's deal with the Juggernauts having a route for the Ravage for once, so they can actually kill those pesky little operatives.
I touched that on my little story time rampage, but yeah, it's 2 years too late. We should have had that
Oh,
from the get-go.
Oh
he fell
man,
asleep
not the
for a
two
minute,
years
so he
too
probably
late
missed it.
thing again. I think we said
I think we all did.
on that one. It's not 2 years too late. It's thank you BioWare.
So why do they give it to Marauders and not to Vengeance Jugs, who rely on Rabbit?
Oh man, there was a good
Well,
reason
it's only
somewhere, and
one
now that
spec
guy's
though, man.
fired somewhere. he doesn't work for him anymore, so they fixed it. So there you go. Everything's fine. Look at
Here's the biggest
Dallas.
thing, and this is today's PvP just as an example. I'm going after a Sork who just hit his sprint. I should be able to stop him deadpan in his sprint. Nope, he can just go ahead and stun me and get the hell away from me after I'm starting to hit him with my Ravage. I charge him, hit him with my Ravage, I should be unstunnable. No, he's gone. He's out of there. Operatives are the same. It's nonsense. You're wasting a 20k amount of damage on somebody because you can't pin him down. You have to chase him.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. So let's talk about the mercenary changes that were going on
I'm
too.
busy looking at Maisa's saber.
Yeah, uh, I don't see any mercenary changes.
You're dang right. There's no
No.
mercenary
Yeah.
changes.
Good.
Because just Gouda's so much better than Papa.
How dare
You
you?
know, I
How
don't
dare
remember
you?
bounty hunters being such crybabies. I mean, Boba Fett never cried this much.
You know what? Boba Fett was too busy trying to get out of traps all the time. So, and climbing out of things' stomachs. So I don't have that problem. So I'm going to talk about why why my heat was not addressed, because it just should be. I mean, come on, let's talk about this for a second. You have a you had a change in a 4 set bonus that was supposed to fix the damage and make them go up with snipers. But the fact of the matter is, if we do that, we're forced to rapid shot so many times that we still can't seem to keep up with snipers on most bosses. And to me, that shows a problem because yeah, and everybody says, "Oh, but you could heal or you could do pyro." And I'm sorry, no, I've even
Heal
tried
the full.
pyro. I've healed the full. Yeah, that's what they said because they can heal themselves to full. But let's be honest. If I was to heal myself to full, on a nightmare mode boss, are we still going to be able to kill that nightmare mode boss? And the answer is no. If I if
Shouldn't
I
have to.
overheat, which I shouldn't, because I should be rapid shotting. I think by what they're saying is in the new set you should be rapid shotting 6 times a minute instead of the 4 with the old set bonus. If you didn't know that, you learned something. Happy day. But anyways, so that's with the new set bonus, you should be rapid shotting about 6 times a minute instead of with the old, you should be rapid shotting 4. But I mean, let's talk about this for a second. That we're still overheating. We're still overheating. I mean, there's a problem with that because when I overheat, I am significantly crutched on the damage that I can put out. And it's not like Maisa who can just keep his rage up, you know, all the time. It's just it's frustrating that we have one of the best questions asked by our class lead, and they answered the question with, well, they can heal themselves. I mean, I know I'm the only mercenary here, and everybody's like, shut up, Raging Rondo. Just shut up. But I mean, it would be like Codger
True
saying,
statement.
why can't they jump? Why when I jump did they not before get a small stun? And so I can agree with Codger on that. So why is my heat still uh, one of the harder energy or whatever basis of using my abilities? Why is it the harder one to maintain? When my opposite side with the ammo is able to control themselves a lot better. Does anybody like, or am I just ranting here? Did I just
Well,
do
is it
Rondo story time?
is it a similar
That just happened.
problem, for example, with with the Marauder trees? Is that when 2.0 dropped, basically Carnage became almost unplayable because they had a rage problem. They could not keep their rage above 5 for the love of them because they took away their rage building necessity, which was refund from Massacre. Then is it a similar problem where now that they have to look at just the I'm sorry, what's your arsenal? Your arsenal tree, or do they have to look at your healing and your other
It's the
DPS
arsenal
tree?
tree. Well, no, it's the arsenal and the pyro. I mean, I really think they need to look at both of them. The healing, not so much. Well, let's be honest. We've talked about the healing in past podcasts, so if you want to go into that, there's a lot to talk about. There's there's a lot to talk about in that tree that needs to be either worked on or taken into account. But with them saying that we have a healing class and that's how we can keep it going, or that's why we don't do as much as a sniper. I point out that you've gimped our healing class, so we don't have anywhere else to go. And the pyro, while it's good, and I've seen Pizza the Hut or however you know him, Papa Burgundy, I've seen him do great numbers with it. It's still gimped on most fights to Arsenal, so we have to stick with one class that or one tree that is having heat issues with the 4 set bonus. And so like Ignitia, if you were having force bonus or force issues, wouldn't you feel the same way as I would right now? I mean, obviously we could talk a lot because you're supposed to be using Thrash, I guess, because that's I have no idea why they. What does that mean? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
I have no idea, but at the same time, I think the force issue with Sorks is kind of fixed. Other than like say in the case of like Madness, you can actually blow through that really really fast. And the same thing with corruption. Hence why we have uh, the I sacrificed my life for more force power, but lightning we have no issues. But our damage is not nearly as good as say a sniper or a mercenary. So you know what? You can cry all you want. I want my damages.
I feel you, man. I think you could do good if you stop dotting it up and watching everybody else, but I hear you. We'll work on
Ah,
Uh-huh.
that.
but then you would die, Rondo.
Oh, how dare you!
But he still died.
Oh, true.
And wipe half the raid.
That's because Talons only heals the tanks. You know, he doesn't worry about us.
No, Talons actually beat Big a few times. Granted, Big was dead, but
Hey,
I think I
dead
think we
heals,
need to
no
find that
heals.
that's other Sork healer because she could definitely get it done for Talon. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, what happened to her?
So angry.
So what any other class changes that I mean I like we don't cover all of the classes here, but I know that the assassin tanks are getting what the 130%. Yeah, 130% armor rating increase when they have their dark charge up, and it doesn't heal them anymore, but it gives them 130% more armor, up from 115%. So they're getting 15% increase in armor. Is that enough to make up for that heal? Because it's not
I
like they,
Yeah.
they they put it like, oh, it's 130%, but it's not 130%. It's a 15% increase.
can.
I've talked to Assassin Tank, Zan, the one in our guild, and he was pretty happy with it. He thinks it's gonna be better as well. I mean, I think it's gonna be more of a nerf. I think for PvP. What's one of the good things about making them as node guards is they would heal themselves, which allowed them to stay up a bit longer, and being able to stealth out, until some help arrives. So um, I think that's where we'll probably see its big effect. I guess only time will tell until we actually see it come out.
Yeah,
Well, considering Zanzis really doesn't have. The only time he really gets strained is when he has an obscene amount of ads on him, or if the healers are dead and or preoccupied trying to keep the rest of the raid up.
well, I guess like Big was saying, time will tell with that. So I mean, just moving down from that, Sith Inquisitors, we've already covered it. Need to thrash more, so that's good to know. I mean, okay, so let's really. I know we've said it and we've joked around about it, but was there a need to increase that?
I'm wondering if that's for early game, is for leveling. That's they kind of have to rely on that somewhat and run up to the mobs.
What, like
So
level
I'm
one to
wondering if
10?
that's
But I don't find it necessary.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't see it even useful at 55.
It's just weird. Like I wouldn't even have added that in. I mean, if I was a dev, I would have just done it and been like, okay, there you go, guys. I wouldn't even have added that in. That's because what are they trying to prove by putting that in there?
Does do assassins have thrash?
Yeah,
Yes.
Well,
yeah. I don't have an answer either. I mean, so
Eh.
I tell you
You're
what.
gonna have
So
to bring Zan in one of these days.
yeah, he refuses, but I'll ask him. And you know what? I'm gonna address that next time, and we'll talk about it next time. I'm gonna talk to a couple inquisitors and see if leveling that was something, and we'll bring that up at the start of the next podcast because I don't want to leave it as just a question we don't seem to have an answer for. So we're looking at a Sith assassins. I think I'm gonna have to pull my assassin out of the closet, the figurative closet, I guess, and give him a second chance and see what happens.
Did you just say you're coming out of the closet?
I
'Cause
did.
that's what I heard.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Because they got
oh yeah.
the increased maul, the increased lacerate, and the voltic slash. So I think I'm gonna have to bring it out and just give that a test when it comes out. Just to
Well,
keep.
it's their wording, slightly increased. I mean, it's kind of like with the overload on the operatives and scoundrels. It says increase the damage by overload, which was supposed to be our semi-ranged, mobile attack.
Yeah.
That almost wasn't worth, the actual energy you had to use for it. So it was better, when you're low or trying to, hit an enemy just to use your basic attack. So, it's just their wording on it. I mean, if they at least said
Do you
5% or gave us a percentage,
do you think
so I
it's
mean,
like
it's
my
hard to tell. I mean, if
AOE
they
flamethrower that I can use when I'm close on my mercenary? It's just something to use if you're close enough to use it, just to use it,
well,
maybe.
it's supposed to be like as you're running around. I mean, before, it just wasn't really worth the energy from it. I mean, it gave you just slightly better than your basic attack, but it cost a decent amount of energy. So if you're having to spam it 2 or 3 times, while you're trying to hit an enemy, maybe capping the door as well, you're just basically doing almost no damage. So
Hmm.
I'll have to wait to see how much it actually was increased and see if it's actually worth the return, versus the damage. Because besides that, we don't really have any good ranged damaging attacks unless you consider snipe. But then we got to go into cover and then get a snipe off where this is an instant attack.
Well,
So
what they
I'm
explained
hoping that.
was that, if I read it correctly, the overload shot is now, it just wasn't a viable energy dump, is what they're saying, and now they're making it more of an energy dump sort of thing. So, like, if you have nothing else to do,
Well,
you
correct,
use this.
correct. But it was better just saving your energy for that. But they didn't put an amount as well. So increased could be a 1%. 0.001 could be an increase. So I think we'll have to see if it actually, if they gave it about a 50% buff, I could see it being worth it. So we'll have to see when that comes out as well.
Cool. Anything else? I mean, I'm looking down. That's like the major thing. I mean, did you go over the GU form? GU form that lasts now 24 seconds, up from 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the changes. I what I thought I wanted. Is there anything else? I mean, Ignitia, we've joked around about Thrash, but what would you have wanted to see to make you happy and make you want to stay on your sword?
In all honesty, like when it comes to, it's we need a little upridge in damage overall, and I think when it comes to single target, I believe uh, a buff to either lightning strike, force lightning, affliction, one of those three, so our damage is more consistent and able to keep up with, like, say, the snipers and mercenaries and all that stuff would be a lot better. But overall, there's nothing overtly bad about Sork right now. It's just, other than we're squishy, and it's just seems like no matter how fast we can cast and do everything, we're unable to keep up with the two other classes.
Yeah, well,
What about Marauder?
What about Marauder?
Shut up, my.
Shut up. Yeah.
Let's just no
Can
one
everybody
raid, all
let's
marauders.
no everybody
Everyone's a marauder.
we should just say one thing that we've not appreciated from Maisa over the last 2 years. Okay, and I'll start off. Maisa, I don't appreciate that you as a marauder died almost every single attempt in EC Nightmare mode on the first boss because you couldn't get out
I
of
don't like
things.
that either.
I don't appreciate having to put him on focus on my focus, so I have to make sure he stays alive almost every single fight.
Ignitia, what do you not appreciate about Maisa since he wanted to be so vocal tonight?
My my st- you bet-
Other than he talks too much, personally, I think Marauders are already good where they were. I, I think the one nerf, in all honesty, was
Okay,
actually
stop.
much
That's not the
needed. So you
question I
can.
asked. Okay, we're moving on to Codger.
I'm not
Codger,
finished. Kiss my
what do
ass.
you not appreciate from Maisa since he's been here?
bes-
Mice doesn't love me enough.
Okay, that's
That's
good.
about it.
You don't feel the love, I guess.
Nope.
My stick
I
twin
think
has
he doesn't
abandoned
like.
me.
His stick to
I'm pretty sure
okay.
Mice doesn't like me.
All right, so let's just so now that we've put Maisa in his place.
Talons needs his Talons needs his turn.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
All right, now,
Well,
now that
okay.
my
now that we've
turn
broken him down for
might
a minute, let me just build him
might
back
take
up.
a while.
what about
You
every time he
try
changed?
and
Let
you pretend
Talons
you're.
have his turn.
How- My only issue is how dare you pretend to be a healer with your stupid little heal. And then every time you have to mention it, oh look how much I healed.
I know, right?
What? They just want they just want Marauders to be able to do everything. Like I said, let's just build let's build a all Marauder raid, and we can just heal each other with that, and you know.
That's right. Yeah, you know what? Let's take Big and Talons out of the raid and just let Maisa heal everybody because he's so good. All right. All right.
Between me and Militia, it's around 600 heals per second. So
See, there you go again. Shut up.
All right, so
he
we
can't
get this week off
stop.
in rating then, there, Talon.
What'd you say, Big?
I said now we get the week off in rating, so
Yeah,
Mice has got it covered
Oh,
with his
nice.
Marauder heals.
I'm down. And you guys need to drink and just talk about Maisa during the raid.
No. No. Not until we feel the love.
I'm gonna.
Codger, if it makes you feel any better, you're my favorite raid leader.
On that. Jesus, what have you
I
just
know
done?
why.
What did you just
Oh,
start?
I know why.
Okay, so
Done.
we'll do last week's in rating. So we're doing the last week's in rating, Codger story mode, never stopping. I think they've tried to tell me the story, but they've alluded to it too many times to count. So I'm just gonna let them tell the story. Which one of you has got it? Codger, how was the story mode 2 weeks ago? We'll start there.
And the hard mode.
Story versus hard. Story, I slept through it. I honestly didn't pay attention to any damn fight. We winged it. I didn't give two tails of a rat's end on that one. Hard mode, I stopped and studied every damn fight. Every fight.
Oh yeah, I've
Studied
noticed
everything
it
I
this
possibly
time.
could.
Like you have definitely been on your game, and like I'm telling you,
I,
it's nice having a tank who's just like, this is what we're gonna do it, and let's get it all done with.
oh, I'm into it. That whole so what happened was usually I don't take the reins on raiding. I can raid, I just don't. You guys, all joking aside, I just never been given a chance, right? So or lead raid is what I meant. And anyway, that fight really pissed me off when we were trying to clear it on hard mode, and I just got
Which fight
frustrated
was
and
that?
upset, and Jesus, the names escape me. It's the second
The
boss.
oh the
Gatekeeper.
Numbnuts there, Numbnuts Gatekeeper there. So anyway, I got real frustrated. So I was just flipping through videos, And finally, I saw between two different videos. I put it together, and I figured out what this team was doing, and I had it on mute. I just watched. I'm like, up, done, problem solved. And as soon as it clicked, that was it. And the rest of the fight was just, I don't know. Every other fight there, it clicks. You know, I
Gives
could
you a sense of
run, I could
accomplishment,
lead the
huh?
raid. Yeah, I could lead that raid from any perspective, tank, heals, or DPS. I'm that confident in that raid. I don't care to. I'm an officer, sure. I'll just play my role as tank, but when push comes to shove, there are certain things that I need to call out, and I have no problems taking the reins on the gatekeeper. I have to. I'm up front and center.
Right.
He
Yeah,
just tells me what to hit, or tells me when to hit stuff.
Go hit that.
Exactly. It's
So
that
I
whole
would like.
fight is based on tank perspective.
Oh yeah, it is. And then, but I would say that the second boss and the gatekeeper that is also all about the DPSing the correct thing. Because if that's, if, I mean, you mean the DPS doing the right thing? Yeah, that's how it always is. But knowing that you need to stand closer to the one that's providing the shield so that you can get inside the shield. I mean, I remember the first time I was in there, I was like, doo 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 doo, I'm close to him, but I wasn't close enough, so I wasn't doing any damage. Therefore, I was putting us behind. And so
You
knowing the right distance, stuff like that, is all really important. And that's why I love these new. I mean, we could get into a whole topic about these new raids. They're just to me so much fun. And now that we're working on the last boss in the first one on hard mode, I think that it means a lot to us as raiders because we're putting good time in and we're coming together as a group again. I think that's what raid groups need is they need to come together. They need to know that Codger as a tank is going to do this before Codger even knows he's going to do it.
going
Well,
back
yeah, that
to one of the first questions that you asked when we started was me personally not coming from this is being my first MMO, this being my first like major raiding experience. These two new raids alone have shown more mechanics than the rest of, at least I feel, they are the best raids so far with
I agree,
mechanics.
Yeah, they're
and I
fun.
think
Dread
that's why
Palace
I
alone is just ridiculous. The last boss, like I
Well,
said
how
before,
so? I mean, you
no
can't just
joke.
say ridiculous. I mean, what do you like about Dread Palace?
Each fight is, I guess you could say, different, really different. And then the last boss just takes them all together and just, I don't really know
Yeah,
how to describe.
they're different. It's not like just a normal tank and spank fight, or you're going to kill the boss, switch to an ad. The floor mechanics that you have in that the third fight in Dread Palace, you have ad management. Getting out of the way of certain things, having the DPS things in set order. Otherwise you're going to wipe the raid or make it harder. So, they're definitely interesting mechanics now.
The DPS check on the first boss is one of like the hardest DPS check so far.
Oh yeah, is it? I haven't had a chance to get into Palace. You guys are going in and getting there before I'm even done with work. So I haven't had a chance to step into Palace, and I'm a little bit, jealous. But that's how it is. Work before the game. Um, so you're saying it's something
blasphemy.
to look forward to if you haven't seen it yet?
Oh, it's great.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking
Granted, all
forward
you
to getting in
veteran
there
WoW
with you
players
guys.
have
And
already seen it
oh,
about a million times,
nah,
but
I wouldn't say that. I mean, honestly, what I like about this game is what the classes bring to the table in ops and in PvP. Um, so it is experiencing it new because I could say, yeah, I've done this sort of mechanic before, but I can't say I've done this mechanic before on a mercenary. So I mean, it brings something new, and it's why most people leave World of Warcraft nowadays is because they've played it on that class already. They've done that sort of mechanic on a class already, and now, I mean, I could say, yeah, I've done this mechanic, but I haven't done it with these abilities and this. So it changes it up. It makes it different. I mean, wouldn't you say the same thing, Ignitia? I mean, there's that difference between I've done it on this class, And then you go in, and even when you're playing World of Warcraft, if you've never played a Warlock before, you go and do something on a Warlock. It's different, it's new, whereas you may have been on a Shadow Priest before that. I mean, wouldn't you say that, Ignitia? It sometimes just changing up the class makes something new to you.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. I mean, it's going from like range to melee or melee to tank or tank to heals. There's just so many different perspectives when it comes to fights, especially when it comes to different types of DPS altogether. I mean, we have certain abilities, we have certain utility compared to every other class. Uh, at the same time, I mean, the mechanics for Star Wars has been, in my opinion, much better over anything that WoW has ever produced. I mean, there were some fights that WoW did pretty well, but I mean, they never really delved into the depths of what SWTOR has been really wanting to push out. I mean,
Yeah, when I found you
it's
on the internet airwaves again, before I got you to join the guild, we had a conversation about the raids and the lore and the game in general. And I felt like me and you were on the same page where we had seen these things before, but the way that they are doing it now, it really it takes it to a different level because I feel like I know my character because I went through the lore with my character. And I know that may sound crazy, but how about you guys? Do you feel like I made decisions for this guy? I know that my bounty hunter's a scumbag. My bounty hunter's a scumbag, and he's out there for the money, and he's not really a nice guy. He will kill you. He will chop your husband's head off, and he will hand it to you. As he did in the first couple quests on the very first planet. I chopped off a woman's husband's head and I gave it to her. That is my bounty
You
hunter.
sound like my
Same here with my
Jason.
bounty hunter.
Right? I mean, doesn't that so when you take these guys into an ops or into PvP, doesn't that mean more?
It does. Well, especially, yeah, leveling on my operative. I mean, I really get that James Bond feel, is that I'm sneaking around, stealthing around, sapping the guy, essentially making him unconscious, being able to sneak by, get the objectives done, even in dailies, or as I see other Republic players running around and I see the little red tag above their head, I know I can set them up real quick, sap them, take out their companion, and let HK finish them off.
It'd be cool if you could do like a double agent type of thing that made your thing green over your head, so you're like, I'm good, and then you stab him in the back, get him.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Right, that would be pretty cool.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, Star Wars, if anything, they did. I would have bought the game just as a single player game to play through. Just like Knights of the Old Republic. It's
Yeah.
a great game. But then you have buy-in when you get to the end game, which they do have, and you're playing with this character. You actually, you care, and you have buy-in for it. But that's why I think in my case, I definitely have a main that is my main character that I connected to the most. I have other characters, but I definitely connect to, Talons the most. So.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there
and
is there a death counter in the game?
I wish.
Yours would be broken.
Yeah,
It
yours
doesn't
would
go
be
up that
broken.
high.
If they had a "I'm stuck, I need help" counter, you would have rolled over, and you would
Talons
be
pull me.
back to like
A
10.
Yeah,
Talons
somehow
pull
my
me
Issa
counter.
managed to get stuck almost every single raid, just bouncing around like a little
Yeah,
I
rabbit, or whatever
filed
he likes to do.
so many bug reports, and many of them have been answered.
Any place
I'm
that
stuck
you
in this
could get
tree.
stuck, Maisa's gotten stuck, and he's probably forced. The reason why you can't get stuck there anymore is because of Maisa. Because he
No,
went to the devs and fixed it. That's so Maisa,
no.
I swear to you, has probably gotten stuck in a tree on Alderaan and made sure it got
Oh,
fixed.
he has. No,
I
he'll
get
he'll
stuck in
get
my door
stuck in
frame on my ship.
I know, dude. I'm
he'll
telling
get
you.
stuck in place.
He goes, come to
It's
my
not even
door frame,
possible.
because we're DPSing on his ship, and he goes, dude, look at this. How do you do that? It was my first reaction. He's crazy. That guy.
I'm pretty sure some of the reports you put in, they just ignored because they're like, that's only you could do that. It's just stupid.
Only you would
I got
somehow manage to jump there, you know.
I got two or three that said really again.
Wow.
Did you really? You're not pranking.
No, I'm not.
Screenshot. We should
It's
put that up on the
usually
guild website.
it's
I think
usually the same. It's usually the same. I guess you can say game master that responds to my bug reports. They still haven't fixed my ship door though.
What you mean the place only you can get stuck? Yeah, they didn't fix it. That's not like
Yeah.
no, they need to fix my mercenary first. We talked about that earlier. Screw your door. They already fixed your class.
But if he can't get out of the door, how is he supposed to get to the raid, you know?
That's true. The Talons will pull him.
Talons just has to come to my ship and pull me.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, sorry, as a side note here, you can actually pull your companions around your ship so you can set them up for a photograph, you know?
You know what? I
Oh, I
had
didn't know
people
that.
were talking about that today. I mean, in Reddit. I mean, we could might as well do like a Reddit news of the week type thing. There was a guy who there's one time where you can get a screenshot with your what was it? Did you read this one, Big? It was you can get a
Yeah,
screenshot
it's
with
at
your all your
at
companions.
the end of yeah, at the end of your chapter 3, you know, it
Yeah.
generally shows you depending on the class, like walking out, or you get a screenshot, and you know the same thing. I've my later tunes, I've tried to do that as well. You know, get them all in a certain gear, you know, look in a certain way, so you can just get that nice screenshot.
But people
But
are
I forget his
refusing
issue. He
to
had
do
set,
it until they have stuff that matches. Like,
Yeah, and so the guy's idea would be able to go back and do it for maybe you know if it's your first character that you leveled, you know you didn't have all that awesome gear to go and take a screenshot with all your companions. So you know unless you're a Sorkin, you're going to pull your companions together and dress them up that way. There's no way to go back. So you know it may be a good way to open it for cartel coins. I think they suggested on the Reddit post or something to that effect that you know would allow you to take a snapshot, maybe different poses. You know one on Alderaan, you know with maybe the planet blowing up in the background, or
dude,
you
they
know
should
maybe
have
on
one that
Hoth or
looks like the
something with some
Ginyu Force for
tauntauns.
all you DBZ players out. You know, like, does anybody remember that, the Ginyu Force? I would love to see my guys, like, in the Ginyu Force pose. And take a
I'm totally
screenshot
gonna
of
do
that.
that now. I'm pulling all my companions, putting them all in slave girl outfits.
Alright.
Hey, Maisa,
Yes.
let me see that lightsaber. Here, let's take. I want to take a second. I want to talk about Maisa's new toy.
Cool. Go
Oh yeah,
at it.
I'm interested to see it as well.
He purchased. I'm actually pretty jealous of this one.
Ooh,
The
it looks cooler than
Scorpion.
the picture, even. I'm jelly. Ah, man. Damn it. Now
Oh,
you're making
sweet.
me change my
Wait,
mind
go back.
again.
Go back. Turn it around for the. Let me see those windows.
From the
Like rotate it so
windows
the
to the
windows face.
wall, to the wall.
Cause that feature is sweet. Oh, Rhonda, will you post? Will you link our link for Ultra Sabers up there? Oh
Yep.
yeah, there you go. Check those windows are sick. And
That is
that
pretty
flanged
awesome.
emitter, that's the clincher for me. I really like that feature.
Very sexy.
The that Maisa, what did it feel like when you first got that in the mail?
I was more or less
Your own
pissed.
lightsaber.
The what's his name? The FedEx guy showed up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, but
He showed up at 4
But
o'clock in the
early.
instantly
morning?
forgave him.
It's like
Did he
4 or
instantly
5.
forgave him?
Yeah, I instantly forgave because I saw what he was carrying. It was great. Honestly, it's like when I was going to order this, Talons was explaining it. It's just like you're gonna get it, and you're gonna want to get another one, the one that you absolutely want. So if you have spare money, you should go as big as you want. I'm like, all right, sure. And I got it, and it's just something just so stupid. No, it's not really stupid. It's just something that's really nice to have,
Yeah.
I guess.
My big
Considering I
question
don't know
is,
if you
as soon as you got it, how long did you sit in your room and swing it around and pretend you were a Jedi?
too long.
Dude, trust. For me, it was days. I would wake up and pick that thing up and then just wah wah it around the room for a while. Oh, but there's, I mean, for me, Star Wars has been a huge, like, I was 5 when I watched Star Wars with my dad. It
You're old.
came out, and yes, thank you, I'm dating myself, but two things that stood out. My first thought was Jabba the Hutt scared the crap out of me. And my second thought, of course, like everyone, is you want a lightsaber. That's like
Right?
the dream of everybody.
And
Is
I
to
thought
hold that lightsaber.
2015 I was gonna have a lightsaber, and I'm not sure we're gonna. I'm like, I wanted to
You have a
like,
lightsaber
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
oh man, all those bullies
Yeah,
growing up.
these will hold you over till.
No, I want one that like I was a weird kid. I would have like decapitated a kid.
But I
Raging
got
Rondo, it says there.
you know, like I said, I went all out on mine, but I put the light up ignition switch. You can see it there. I went blazing red, even though typically this is Anakin's saber, so it should actually be blue. But
So
yeah,
here's my
well, I
thing.
guess.
Like on the one that you see in the picture, I'm starting to notice that they're actually different than what you see on the pictures. So I think we should all show ours when we get them, because that one looks like it has this really large bottom piece to it, and that's why I said I'm not
A
going to get
hilt
that one. I don't. Yeah, the hilt. I
pommel.
didn't like it. Why is your hilt shorter? Like not even as thick as the one that is shown.
Well, no, so okay, so this one doesn't have a pommel. Well, the nice thing about Ultra Sabers is, for the most part, they're completely integrative. So, I mean, I could get a different pommel on this, and you hear that sound there. I got the Obsidian soundboard. I don't know if you can hear that, but um, basically,
Exactly.
with with most of their sabers, with my aces, for example, you can completely pull that thing apart in sections and put whatever you want in it. I saw a guy on the forum had like 6 different sabers, and he was just like mix and match and make his own sabers. I mean,
Yeah.
this one's a little more custom. It is a solid piece, and so what they did with the base, and it is a replica of Anakin's, and that's actually how his looks. It has a little wider base because of the grip, has the black grips there, but it's a shorter hilt. It's made to be a single hander. I think my aces is more of that long hilt. Your double hander,
Mhm.
kind of battle saber, just come in raging. Um,
Uh,
mo-
Makes no difference.
Yeah, they're
this
awesome
one's
either way.
more of a skilled, like one-handed, you know, Dooku style.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, there's the link there that you posted. We actually set up something with Ultra Sabers where you can click on that link and you can support Circle of Enmity podcast by showing Ultra Sabers that you heard about them through us, and that's what brought you to them. So
Cool.
click on that link and get yourself a saber.
Yeah, and wherever we post this, we'll go ahead and post that link with it. So it will be up on. I'll probably put it up on YouTube, and it will be up on the. Well, what's our web? Go ahead and spam your website a little bit there, big, because that's where all of our stuff is getting posted to. With and it was just nice. We have an MP3 link also where you can download it if you don't want to listen to it all the way, just all the time. You can go ahead and download it and put it on your MP3 player or whatnot.
Yep, you'll be able to get that from 42gaming.com, so you can go back and watch the past episodes from there as well too. And coming in the future, we're going to actually start adding some more guides there and linking to some of the other guides that are already out there from the known sites like Tor Wars and Dolphy.net. So again, that's 42gaming.com.
Yeah, I went ahead and posted that up. All right, hey, thank you everybody for listening to episode 4 of Enmity Podcasting. We're getting there. We're getting older. We're we're coming up in age. We're gonna start getting chores. That's how old we are. Okay, we're getting chores. So go
I
ahead
had chores
and
this week.
Maisa, you're still getting you still doing chores because you're 12 years old. But it's
For
okay.
your allowance, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
You
gonna go
get
play with
chores
my
for your
lightsaber.
allowance,
he's gonna
for
go
your
play with his
mommy,
lightsaber.
in
he's
his
gone.
mommy's basement.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening and thank you for the support, and for everybody on Reddit, SWOTOR Reddit, who has given us feedback,
He's
anything like that. We appreciate it so much, and thank you so much. And we're gonna continue going as long as you guys appreciate it. All right, so have a great week.
wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, look at he's swinging it
Look at
around.
wait,
Yeah.
look at my screen. He exactly. You could see the blue or the purple. Oh, by the way, his blade is actually Mace Windu purple. I know the cameras kind of they don't pick up all the light, but you could see it. He's all in the back just swinging it around. That's hilarious.
All right, guys. Have a great week PvPing and PvEing. We'll catch you next week on Enmity Podcasting.
Thanks, Ron.
See y'all.